All right, team, we're going to run this as a Tower 26 Conquer the Course podcast. So you guys are all live worldwide, all my Tower 26 people. So hopefully you're not nervous, Keith. You nervous? Let's run this as a Conquer the Course. I'm going to put it out to the masses. It's live on Facebook right now. So if you guys are watching live on Facebook, ask the questions. But my Tower 26 heart and soul is live on Zoom with me. So if I forget something, they're going to speak up, right, Oliver? And remind me what I forgot. So I'm going to, Chris is here to help me out. Coach Chris, how you doing? Welcome. So usually on the Conquer the Course podcast, I have Coach Rob from New Zealand. Coach Chris, you're taking Coach Rob's spot on this one. So can you put on your best New Zealand accent? It's going to be hard for an English.
I'll give it a good shot, don't you know?
It's going to be hard for an Englishman to put on a New Zealand accent. So yeah, you're filling in for Rob today. But we got Ironman California this Sunday, October 19th, my birthday. Francisco, I expect a big result. Nancy, big result for my birthday, October 19th. So remember that when you're grinding away out there, that you're doing it for Coach. Big 47 years old. Up in Sacramento, I got the weather. We're going to go over a lot of stuff here. So I like Nancy's doing. She's taking notes. Otherwise, this is recorded. I will post it after the fact. Like I said, you guys can tune in to Facebook on my Facebook page, and it'll be recorded on there as well. But I put together a little PowerPoint here for the reminders. Ironman California. Here you go. Share. If you guys want to listen to the audio version of this, I'll put it up on the Conquer the Course podcast page tonight. So you can follow Conquer the Course, subscribe to it, and you'll get an update as to when that is available. But for all my guys on Zoom right now, if you guys have a question, don't hesitate to just unmute and ask the question as we're going through it. All right. For everybody on Facebook, you can ask the question and I will get to it at the end when I go through the comments of Facebook. But if you guys are live on here, just ask the questions right away. And I'm sure Chris will have some good facts, some good tips to chime in on. So you good, Chris? You ready to go with this?
Yeah, we'd like to hear. Anthony Ross has done this race once, did real well. I'd like to him to
Yeah,
give us some.
that's gonna be a cliffhanger. Anthony Ross is
Yeah,
going to give us the final word on this race. So I already
yeah.
planned on that. Is he here? I can't see the
Yeah, he's
people.
here somewhere. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, so this race is brought to you by the Tower 26 training program. All your weekly swim, bike, run workouts for $95 a month. It's not AI, it's all human. 2 live coached workouts a week. All your swims, all your runs, very detailed. And we update it every single week so you don't get 2 months at a time. Every week you're getting new workouts. Like I said, we run those workouts live every Tuesday, Thursday morning. Then they're available on the recorded version as well. We also have Tuesday, 2 p.m., world famous 2 p.m. Tower 26 call with all your coaches, Pacific time. That's every single Tuesday where you get access to the coaches. A lot of educational content there. We begin our technical phase in November. Go to tower26.com for more details. And if you guys want to email me, Jim at tower26.com, mention this Ironman California talk, and I'll give you the first month for free. So there's a little bit of a little low-hanging fruit. Join us. We have a ton of athletes on that, making gains every week, every month. Have some fun with it. So Tower 26 training program. All right, let's get in the race day checklist. So happening this weekend, we took into account the race, the different conditions you're going to encounter in Sacramento. So make sure you have obviously your tri-suit, your swimsuit, whatever you're going to wear under your wetsuit. You're going to need that wetsuit. It's going to be high 50s, low 60s water temperature. So we always get a little colder temps up there. So make sure you have your wetsuit and you're comfortable swimming in it. If you haven't swam in your wetsuit yet, I suggest you get to the pool or in open water in the next couple days and get some movement in your wetsuit. Get a couple sets of goggles. If you have an overcast day, you guys are going to want to wear clear goggles. If it's a sunny day, you're going to want to wear a tinted set of goggles. So you make that decision on race day and make sure you wear those goggles as you do your wetsuit in the pool or before you hit race day. There's been a couple times where I wore a new set of goggles and I felt like my eyeballs were being pulled out of my noggin. So get a couple sets of goggles, clear and tinted, and make the right decision for race day. Bring a towel to dry off out of the swim. Vaseline. So you put Vaseline on any hot spots where there might be rubbing. When you're swimming 2.4 miles downriver or not, that's a long time in a wetsuit. If you get a chafe, it is a painful chafing around your neck, on your nipples, under your arms. Anywhere there's hot spots from the wetsuit, you want to load it up with Vaseline. And I'm not a big believer in Glide or any of that stuff. It's not good enough for me. I need more lubrication between my skin and my wetsuit. So I go with Vaseline. And then if it's cold, You can put the Vaseline on any exposed skin. So you can put it below your eyes, on your cheeks, on your nose, on the top of your hands, on the top of your feet. Helps repel water and keep you a little warmer in the cold water. Just don't get it on your goggles and don't put it on your palms or the bottom of your feet. That's just a yucky feeling. For those of you guys that use amp lotion, 30, 60, 90 minutes out from your race start, you put it on your quads, your hamstrings, your calves, your lats, your shoulders, the back of your neck, any working muscles. You want to put that amp PR lotion on any of those areas. 90 minutes out from the start, 30 minutes out from the start, and 60 minutes out from the start. And then, like the Boy Scout motto always says, be prepared, bring some toilet paper with you, put it in your transition bag just in case. For the bike, remember you're going to need your bike, your helmet, your cycling shoes, your socks, any warm clothes that you're going to need. It's going to be cold in the morning, get a low of in the 50s. So you want to bring some warm clothes that you're going to need to wear before the race. Now we'll get to the bike actual execution of the warm clothes, but if you need arm warmers, anything that you need on the bike to get going, make sure you pack that. Sunglasses, water bottles, any nutrition. Be prepared with a flat kit, right? Be prepared to change a flat if you need to. There are roving mechanics around the course, but you want to make sure that you can get it started with your own stuff. Even if you can't change a flat, you know how to start to pry the tube out and start to get at it. So then when they come by, it's a quicker process. And they will have pumps in transition, so a pump is not of the absolute uh, necessity that you need that, but you can bring it with you to have in the days leading up to the race. Running, you need your running shoes. Remember, you're going to need to put your running shoes in your transition bag on Saturday. So you need two pairs of running shoes, one to run on Saturday, one to show up to race day, get a warm up in, and you need what you're going to race in. So you need a couple pairs of running shoes. You need your dry clothes. If it's not supposed to be rainy, but some of you like to run in some dry clothes. So whatever you like to run in, make sure you're ready with that. Race belt, right? We have these sexy kits that we spend hundreds of dollars on. We don't want to put pinholes in them. So be prepared with a race belt. It goes around your waist. Your number get attaches to the little bungees on that race belt. It makes it a lot easier to put on coming out of T2. You need your hat, visor, anything that helps your face stay relaxed. And then you also need any type of nutrition you're going to take on the run. And make sure you have your salt, your sodium, your salt pills. So you're prepared to keep that salt coming in throughout the 26.2 miles. Miscellaneous things you might need, whatever you're going to use for your numbers, your metrics, your Garmin, your Timex, any of that. Make sure you bring your heart rate strap and don't get hasty. If you plan on going off heart rate, wear your heart rate strap. If you're someone who chafes with that heart rate strap, same thing. Add your Vaseline, add your Body Glide on the heart rate strap to help with that chafing. Sunscreen, they'll have sunscreen in transition, but just a reminder, when you put sunscreen on, just put it below your eyes. Don't put anything on your forehead or around your eyes because it will sweat into your eyes and you'll get that horrible burning feeling. We already talked about Vaseline. Electrical tape to hold down anything that might be a little bouncy. I talked to Jordy about his front end and how the X-Lab bottle bounces around. You can put a couple swipes electrical tape around that to help hold it down and keep it a little more cinched on those aero bars. Scissors if you want to cut out the numbers and make them a little tighter so they're not such a huge billboard across your helmet or on your bike of your race number. Change of clothes for after the race, and then something that you want to get in, but they have good post-race food at this race. So you don't really have to worry about that. All right, anything on, Chris, did I leave anything off of the needed list? What do you think, co-host?
No, I think that's good. I think
A
that
lot of
looks
stuff.
real good.
It's a lot. All if you've done Ironmans before, you have to be prepared, right? If you think you need it, bring it with you, and then you just, you don't use it if you don't use it. But you're gonna have your bags that we're gonna go over in a little bit. If you think you might need something, put it in your bike bag, put it in your run bag, right? So just be
I
prepared
would
in
I
case.
would start packing my stuff tonight. I'd start laying all my stuff out on my shoes, all my gear that I'm going to take. I would start doing that tonight or tomorrow for sure.
I mean, a lot of you guys are leaving tomorrow, Thursday, to go to the race. You probably should lay it out, like Chris says, lay it out. This is my bike gear, this is my run gear. So it's not in the actual bags that you're going to be packing on race day, but it's out and it's lined up and you have everything accounted for. All of our Tower 26 athletes have the race plan. If you don't have this, email me, Jim at tower26.com. I will get it to you. And at the end, I'm going to show how Jordy filled out his race plan. I won't go into detail, but it's very detailed, right? So this is your blueprint for success. It has your nutrition timing, it has what they expect from the course, has your execution detail. Obviously, on race day, things are going to go wrong, but this at least sets out the plan as to how you think it's going to go. It lays the foundation, and from there you can make adjustments based on what's happening real time. So I got one from Keith already. I got Jordy's. Make sure you guys are getting your race plan done, and that's gonna, like I said, that's gonna lay the foundation for success. Remind me at the end to show Jordy's race plan, how he filled it out, and it's not gonna be. I'm not gonna go over in details on how he filled it out, but I'll just show some specifics as to things he accounted for in his race plan. I'll show that when we're all done with this presentation. If you guys are watching at home, you guys can go to Facebook, Jim Lubinsky Facebook page, and you can watch this recording. And I'll put it also up on the Conquer the Course YouTube page. You guys can watch that there as well. I'm putting up the athlete schedule here. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Make sure you look at the athlete packet that you guys get and look at the schedule so you know the specifics of it. But some things to look out for is the athlete briefings every day. They have them at several times throughout the day. So pick a briefing that's going to fit for you and show up to the briefing, right? Because might be some last minute changes and things that they want to point out to you that maybe I don't notice here or you weren't aware of. So show up to the briefing. You guys put a lot of time into this. Be as prepared as you can be come race day. Go to one of those briefings, and they have them every day, Thursday through Saturday. Other things to be aware of, you can check in Thursday, you can check in Friday, and you can also check in Saturday 9 to 11 a.m. I prefer you guys check in Thursday or Friday, but if you're not getting there for some reason till Saturday, they do allow for check-in Saturday morning at this specific race, which is rare for Ironman races. Usually they don't allow that until they only allow it Thursday, Friday, Saturday no check-in, race Sunday. All right, so you guys should have a QR code in your email that gives you quicker check-in. Otherwise, they'll tell you how to find it in your email when you go. But they should have sent you a QR code a couple times from Ironman, so you can scan that QR code upon check-in. And it brings all your details up and makes it a lot easier to check in. Here is Saturday's schedule, Sunday's schedule. Another thing to make note of, that bike drop off is 10 to 4, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You have to drop your bike off on Saturday. You have to have checked in before that. You get your timing chip at bike check-in, right? So you have to check in, put all your stickers on, all that stuff. You don't have to put your nutrition on your bike, any of that, but you have to check your bike in on Saturday. Sunday, you come in, you'll put your nutrition on your bike, you'll check the air in your tires, you'll make sure all that is happening. But 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., you have to get that bike checked in by 4 p.m. Another couple briefings on Saturday. Sunday, they have obviously there's Sunday race day, so you guys hopefully know that by the back of your hand by race day. But other things to note: 4:30 to 6:30 transition opens. 5 to 6:30, you take a shuttle to the swim start, right? Because the swim start is 2.4 miles away. You got to take a shuttle there. You can wear your morning clothes to the shuttle, because on the shuttle and to the race start, you don't have to wear your wetsuit and leave everything in transition. You will go in the transition, drop off your bike gear, drop off your nutrition, check your bike, make sure everything's good in your run bag, and then you will get into the shuttle, go to the swim start, and there's a truck there where you can leave your morning clothes bag, right? So you can wear all your stuff to the start. That's where the lineup is. That's where the queue is, the different times. You're going to finish in 45, 50, 60 minutes. You can wear all the clothes there, put it in the morning clothes bag, drop the morning clothes bag at the swim start, put on your wetsuit and all that there. So you don't have to do that in transition. You do that when you get to the swim start. Race starts at 7 a.m. It queues up, like I said, it queues up based on your predicted finish time. So we'll talk about that shortly, but just something to look out for. There's gonna be a huge line of athletes. Make sure you don't just get in the back of the line. Go to where you think you're gonna be finishing, and it's gonna be a fast swim, guys. It's downriver. I flew up there a couple of years ago. I flew up at 7 a.m. My flight left. The athletes who usually take 2 hours to swim were done by the time I landed in Sacramento 65 minutes later. So it's going to be a fast swim. We'll go over the details of the swim, but line up accordingly and be realistic with that pace. These are the bags you'll get when you check in. So I have a picture of the bags up. You'll get a white or clear morning clothes bag. You get a blue bike gear bag, a red run gear bag, an orange bike personal needs bag, and a black run personal needs bag, right? So just to look out for when they're handing all this stuff to you check in, don't get overwhelmed. Each one has its perfect purpose. And like Chris said, when you start to dial in, this is my bike gear, this is my run gear, this is my personal needs, this is my bike, it all separates really nicely. So morning clothes bag is just that. When you take off the clothes in the morning, you stuff them in that bag, you have your wetsuit on, drop the bag off at the swim start, you go swim. You come into transition. Now on Saturday, you've dropped your bike gear bag and they're all lined up, right? They're all lined up in numerical order, so you know where you drop that bag off on Saturday. You run to that bag. A volunteer will probably hand it to you. And the day before, when you drop that bag off, you put all the stuff you're going to need on the bike, your shoes, your socks, your helmet, your sunglasses, nutrition, whatever you're going to need until you get on the bike is in that bag. So you go into T1, you go into the changing tent, you take your wetsuit off, you put all the bike stuff on, your shoes, your helmet, your sunglasses, you take your wetsuit and you stuff it in that bag, right? So now your wetsuit and your goggles and your hat are in that bag, and everything that was in that bag, you're wearing it. You give that to a volunteer, or you drop it where it's supposed to be dropped, and then you go run to your bike, you grab your bike, you go to the bike out, you ride the bike course, you come in, a volunteer will take your bike, you have all your bike gear on, and the way they funnel you is right to the run gear bags. Saturday, you drop your run gear bag off as well. It has your running shoes, your socks, your hat, your nutrition, everything we spoke about earlier. You grab your run gear bag, you go into the transition tent, which is the same tent you went in T1. You take all your bike gear off, you put on your run gear, you take your bike gear, you put it in a run gear bag, you give it to a volunteer, drop it off, and then you go run. Right? Does that make sense to everybody? It's just a cycle. You can't mess it up. But you just got to make sure everything that you're going to need on the bike is in the blue bag, everything you need on the run is in the red bag. Now, the personal needs, halfway through the bike, you're going to have access to that personal needs bag. Anything you want halfway through, you can put in that bag and you drop it off race morning. They'll have a truck that says bike personal needs. There'll be a ton of boxes. You'll give them that bag. It'll be, and that's race morning. That's not Saturday. Sunday morning, they take that bike personal needs and run personal needs. Halfway through each, you'll have access to those bags. So what I like to do is I like to start with 56 miles worth of nutrition on my bike. The halfway through, I switch it out with exactly what I started with in my personal needs bag. So I'm not carrying 112 miles of nutrition on my bike with me. I'm carrying 56, and then I switch out at 56 for another 56 on the back half. On the run, you can do the same thing, or you can just rely on the aid stations, which I like to do. But if there's something that you like to have on the run, maybe some more salt pills, maybe some type of gels you need, maybe some caffeine of some sort, it's caffeinated gels of some sort, you put it in that run personal needs bag and you have access to that halfway through. There's volunteers there taking your numbers prior to the special needs or the personal needs area. So when you come up and you're number 1222, there's someone a quarter mile up saying, 1222, get it ready. So the volunteers are already running to your bag. So you pull over, you say 1222, and a volunteer runs up with your personal needs gear, right? So it's not like you have to go there and hunt for it. They're already on the case trying to get it to you as fast as possible. But don't be hasty, guys. Don't say, "Oh, I'm not stopping." Use that personal needs to your advantage. It's an extra 10 pounds you might be carrying if you're looking to account for 112 miles on your bike. Use the personal needs. And if there's something that's going to make you feel happy, maybe you like to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich halfway through 112 miles. I had a guy I used to race with. He loved to have sour apple gum halfway through the run. So he put that in his personal needs bag. So maybe put something in there that's going to help you feel good and give you something to look forward to when times are rough, right? So something to think about there. Here's the transition. Now you'll see this Saturday when you go drop your bike off, right? So on the top of the screen, I have a picture of the transition up here. The top of the screen is coming in from the water, right? So you see the note at the top of the transition area, swim in, run out. So that's where you run in from the swim. They'll funnel you through the blue bags. You get into the change tent, men, women separated. So you're not changing with the opposite sex. So men, women side of that change tent. So you get in for the swim in, they'll fun you through your blue bag, go into the change tent, you change, then you run out the other side of the change tent to your bike. Somewhere in that mess of bikes is going to be your bike. Make sure you know where it is. You've taken note of where it is on Saturday. You run right to your bike, you grab your bike, you run out, and on the bottom of the screen, you see it says bike out. From there, there's a mount line on the other side of the bike out. You run out of that transition arch that says bike out. There's a yellow line on the ground. You run over that yellow line, then you can get on your bike and go ride 112 miles. That same bike out, after 112 miles, you'll come in, that's the bike in. Now that line that was the mount line is now the dismount line. You got to get off the bike before that dismount line. Get off the bike, run through the bike in arch. A volunteer will take your bike. You run through you run to the through the red bags, which they're gonna funnel you right to those red bags. You grab your red bag, you go in the change tent, take off the bike gear, put on the run gear, and then you what it was the swim in is now the run out, and that's where we're gonna go run 26.2 miles. Any questions on transition? Anything? Anybody? We good?
So people get intimidated by all these different bags and all these different. When you pick up your race packet, what I normally do is go back to the hotel and lay all the bags out on the bed and put all the numbers on the bag 126, 126, 126. And then I start to, this is what I need for my special needs are peanut butter and jelly sandwich, whatever. Start packing that. And then I have 5 bags ready to go. So it looks really intimidating, but it's really not. It looks overwhelming, but it's really pretty easy. So if you start to lay all that stuff out Friday and Friday afternoon, it's good. It's
Yep.
good.
Exactly. It works out. You know you've been doing this long and you've been doing this enough building into this that you know what you go in each bag. But just when you go there Saturday and you have access to this transition, notice the swim in, the run out, the bike in, the bike out, the path you're going to take with your bike, the path you're going to take when you come in off the bike to the change tent and to the run out. So notice all these things when you drop off your bike on Saturday. So Saturday, you want to wake up, eat a lot of carbs throughout the day, guys. There's no shortchanging your carb loading, right? There's been science, oh, you don't need the carb load. We carb load here, right? You get a lot of carbs in on Saturday. You can eat, like I said, eggs, toast, oatmeal, fruit, yogurt, smoothies. You can have yams. You can have pita, sandwich for lunch, chips, pretzels throughout the day. Fig Newtons are great. Night, you can have pasta, rice, salmon, meatballs. Just load up on the carbohydrates, have carbohydrates throughout the day, and sip on your electrolytes all day, guys. I want you guys taking in a good amount of electrolytes because if you guys listen to Cam Worf on the 2 p.m. show last week, our Educational Tower 26 2 p.m. meeting, he said carbohydrates are important, but if you're low on electrolytes, that's going to totally ruin your day. So all day on Saturday, get in your carbohydrates. All day, all morning on Sunday before the race, you're sipping on those same carbohydrates. A little bit of light training on Saturday just to work off some nervous energy and just get the body moving. All the run gear, bike gear, all that stuff should be packed already. But if anything last minute you need to add to those bags, add it to the bags. Drop the bike off. Make sure you put your run gear where it needs to go, the bike gear where it needs to go when you're dropping your bike off. So bring all that to transition on Saturday. I've had plenty of people go to transition on Saturday with their bike and they forget their gear bags. You need to drop that stuff off on Saturday. I don't think it's supposed to rain, but if you want to tie up your bag and twist it, the bike bag and the run bag, sometimes it's exposed and they don't have it covered. Make sure you tie it up and twist it as much as you can. And then when you get into the T1 and the T2, you can just rip those bags open. You don't need to, take it open lightly. And then when you put your wetsuit in or the other stuff, they can put it in. They can help you tie it up so it doesn't fall out of it. Like I said, look over all the swim in, the bike out, the paths you're going to take in transition, and get home. Don't dilly dally around. Don't go to the expo. Once you drop your bike off, you drop your bags off, go home, get in the air conditioning, get off your feet, guys. You've done your training, you've eaten, you've dropped everything off. Don't go stand around. Don't feel like you have to go entertain everybody on Saturday. The more energy you can save, the less stress you can put on the system on Saturday, the more you're going to have on Sunday. And you want to quiet the mind as well. You don't want to be out there entertaining. Jordy said he wanted to do 5 minutes of stand up at the local comedy club. He's not going to do that, right? I need him to relax throughout the day on Saturday because that physical and mental energy you're going to need to use Sunday when the going gets tough. So mentally, physically shut it down early and just get relaxed. You should be a little bored on Saturday. Eat dinner. Don't overhydrate. I don't want you guys sipping yuggers of water, right? Chun goes to the Chunsters, we call him. He goes to the 24-hour fitness with a yugger, right? The meathead yugger, a 2-gallon jug. He's not going to do that
That's
on. He's not going to do that on Saturday. He's going to sip on his electrolytes, but he's not going to overhydrate, right? Francisco, you see Francisco's guns? Guy's got humongous cannons. He's not going to have his yuggers walking around. He's going to sip on electrolytes. Don't overhydrate because that could make you hyponatremic as well. And that is just as bad as being low on electrolytes as being oversaturated, hypernatremic, oversaturated in electrolytes. You want to have a good balance of electrolytes and hydration without being overhydrated with straight water. So sip on the electrolytes. Don't just chug water every second you get. As I was saying, get in the carb heavy dinner. sipping those electrolytes all day. And you can even take some salt pills throughout the day on Saturday and shut it down early. You're gonna have a tough time sleeping. Maybe you're gonna say, you're gonna wake up Sunday morning, I didn't sleep at all. You're gonna sleep. It doesn't seem like you're gonna sleep because you have this nervous energy and it's not total deep sleep, but you will sleep. Just give it a chance. No screens. And even if you think I'm not sleeping at all, just close your eyes, relax, breathe, and try and quiet your mind. You will fall asleep. On race day Sunday, wake up early, right? You've done all this work. Now is not the time to get those last couple minutes of sleep. Wake up early, get on your food. If you're going to have any coffee, get in your coffee early so you can get the digestive system going. Once again, get in a good amount of calories and carbohydrate-based calories. Bring something to have maybe when you're on the bus or you're waiting in line to start, something to just help keep that nutrition coming in or keep yourself satiated leading up. But don't eat too close to the start. Just in all the pre-race process, maybe a Cliff Bar or something to just give you a little bump in the carbohydrates prior to the race. Start on the electrolytes early, as I said earlier. Get out the door on the earlier side, right? You don't want to be rushing to the shuttle. I mean, you don't have to be the first person on the shuttle, but take into account how long it's going to take you to get to the shuttle, how long the line's going to take. They're usually pretty quick with the shuttles. It's not like you have to wait in line very long because they keep them coming good, consistent pace. So you don't have to be the first person there. Just don't be the last person there. So work backward from the time you want to get on the shuttle to the time you wake up and everything in between, and figure out what time you're gonna have to leave your hotel room or your Airbnb. Shuttles go 5 to 6:30 a.m. Race starts at 7 a.m. So, and there will be porta potties at the race start, so you don't have to get all your business done before you get on that shuttle. And if you see an open porta potty, I suggest you use it. Even if you don't think there's anything going on in that system, get in that open porta potty and give it a shot because there's always something brewing in there. All right, pre-race protocol, get that number 2 done as soon as possible. As I said, a very important factor. When you get to the race start, the swim start, that's where you can do your warm-up jog, right? You can get your little body moving, get the warm-up jog. And you guys have, all my Tower 26 athletes have each other's number, right? So I'm going to race Arizona. I'm going to coordinate a warm-up with our Tower 26 athletes. So it forces everybody to get together and do it. So Anthony Ross or Jordy's a Marine. He's in charge of a lot of coordination amongst the Marines. He just got back from Australia. He was gone for the last 2 years on deployment. It seems like 2 years, but he's good at coordination. So if you guys want to grab the lead and say, hey, Tower 26ers, we're going to meet at 6 a.m. at the, whatever, the swim start. We're going to get a team warm up in, get some movement in, force each other to get moving. It's a lot easier when you do it as a group as opposed to just a finger. The fist is stronger than the finger. So somebody can coordinate that if you guys want. There's no swim warm up, so that's why that pre-race warm up is crucial. Get the body moving, and then the rolling start starts at 6:50. It starts at 7 a.m. and it's lined up by predicted swim time. So be realistic with that. And the swim is fast, guys. Just get ready to be moving in that current. Any questions? Anything on anybody's mind yet? Anything? Facebook, Tower 26 athletes, anything? We good? All right, 2.4 mile swim down current. Water temps in the mid to low 60s. I didn't get exact temperature right now, but you'll be wearing your wetsuit. Current increases when the two rivers combine, and they have the fastest current is at the buoys. So don't think I'm going to swim wide. I'm going to get faster. I'm going to swim in your super secret position. If you're staying tight to those yellow buoys, you're going to be in the fastest area of the current. So try and stay as tight to those yellow buoys as possible. And we're going to talk about it in a minute, but you want to swim relaxed and long, as we worked on in practice Saturday on deck, Anthony. Long, relaxed strokes that you're going to be working with the current as much as possible. If you're choppy and you're inefficient, you're working against that current. You're not letting the speed of the water move you as efficiently as if you were long, relaxed, easy strokes. So nice, long, relaxed, easy strokes with the current. We already talked about the rolling start. It is cold. You're in your wetsuit. You have 2,500 of your closest friends surrounding you. So make sure that if you do start to hyperventilate, you start to lose your breath, you realize, hey, my day's not over. All I have to do is just relax, let the body chill out. I'll catch my breath again, and then I'll get going. The nice thing about this race is if you stop and you need a break, you're still moving towards the finish line. Right, Nancy? Nancy starts swimming and she says, oh man, I just need to catch my breath for a second. And she stops. It's not like a dead calm lake where you don't go anywhere. You can stop and that current is still moving you. It's not as fast as if you're swimming, but don't think stopping is the worst thing. If you need to stop for a second, catch your breath and relax, which I totally say you should use that wetsuit and let that move you because they will have lifeguard flotation devices on the ground, pinned into the ground that you can stop and rest on, but you're not moving towards the finish. Your wetsuit float, you float in your wetsuit. You may as well relax, let the wetsuit keep you at the top of the water, take a break, and let the current keep moving you towards the finish line. If you really need it, there is a flotation device that the lifeguards have out there that you can rest on every couple hundred meters. But I would say use the wetsuit if you need that. Let it float you and let the current pull you as you do. Stay tight to the buoys, as I said earlier. That's the quickest current that you're going to find. There's no real way to splash water on your face. Just be ready to build into the effort as you jump into the water. I don't want you jumping in the water and going 10,000 miles an hour because that's what's going to lead to the hyperventilation. Jump in the water and build into the Ironman effort that you're looking to hold over the course of the first 200-300 meters. Once you hit 200-300 meters in, that's your swim warm up. Then you can get into that race pace effort. I just hit on that, and then things will spread out, right? You're starting with all these people. It's going to be nice and tight as you jump in the water. It will spread out as it goes on, so just be patient with it. Try and find some open water to swim in, and if you find yourself going at the same speed as someone else, you can get on their feet and let them pull you along as you go. We also have our swim subscription program. If you're looking to have a focused workout based on what we do in Tower 26 in Santa Monica, El Segundo, Santa Barbara, wherever the hell else we swim, go to coaching.tower26.com and we will give you all the workouts you need weekly in a structured manner. Technical phase is starting in November, just like in our triathlon training program. So go to coaching.tower26.com for our swim subscription program. Once you get into this transition number one, make it snappy but not hasty, right? Get in the transition, start taking your wetsuit off as you go from horizontal to vertical and start running out of the water. Your heart rate starts to come down a little bit. You start to get your wits about you. Then you can start to take your wetsuit off as you're running into that change tent. Get into your change tent, get on the bike gear, and then you've already identified on Saturday where your bike is. So you run out of that transition area, you know right where that bike is. You're not, because it's going to look a lot different on Sunday than it did on Saturday. Because you identified where it was on Saturday, you're going to be able to run right to that bike, grab it, and get to that bike out area that you identified on Saturday as to where it was. Some things to take note: if you wear socks in training, wear socks in racing. Don't get hasty. You will warm up, guys. I'm going to go over the weather in a second, but it's going to be in the 50s, but it's going to get up to the mid 70s. So if you think, hey, I'm going to be really cold at the start, you might be cold for a few miles, but can you take that cold and not be overheated as the day warms up, right? So maybe you want to bring arm warmers, maybe you want a pair of gloves, but I would suggest not wearing a jacket. You don't want full leg warmers. Don't take it. Don't wear a cap under your helmet because you're going to get really hot. And as that core temperature goes up, that's just burning matches that you're going to need later on in the bike and into the run. So I'd rather be a little underdressed at the beginning of the bike and knowing that it's going to warm up as you get going. And you might be cold for 5 miles, but I'd rather be cold for 5 miles and then perfect the rest of the way than warm for 5 miles and overheat for the remaining 100 and what is that? 107 miles, right? Sunglasses, wear your sunglasses or your visor on your helmet. I prefer sunglasses on an aero helmet. It keeps you cooler and it makes it easier to dump water on your face. A lot of aero helmets come with visors, and you think, well, I bought this sexy aero helmet. I got to wear the visor. Not necessarily, right? I'd rather you wear a pair of sunglasses like I have here, so that way you have more access to your head. If the visor's on, so you can take your water. I have my sunglasses on, I have my aero helmet on. You can tip your helmet back, dump it all over your face, dump your forehead, dump it on your head. You can tip your helmet forward, dump water on the back of your neck. Whereas if I had the visor on, it's a lot harder to access this area of my face. So you have to go a lot higher to get water on your face. And from the aero testing Jim Manton did, he said there's no difference in the visor or the sunglasses with an aero helmet. So I'd rather you guys wear sunglasses with your aero helmet as opposed to the sexy visor. And don't worry about the no changing tents. I don't know where they came from. There is changing tents. So that might have been a few years ago during COVID that was on there, and I just forgot to change it. All right, weather for the day, low of 52, high of 75. So it should be a beautiful day. The wind doesn't look too bad up there. It could be very bad wind as it was the first couple years of this race. It doesn't look too bad, right? So you might get a gust here and there, 13-mile-an-hour gust, but 3 to 7 miles an hour, not a big deal. Just know if there is a headwind going out towards the turnaround on the bike, then you have a tailwind coming back, right? So into a headwind, you want to make sure you're pushing slightly harder in an easier gear, and then you turn around with the tailwind, you put it in a bigger gear, right? A lower cadence, and you just push slightly easier, right? So you push harder into a headwind, easier with a tailwind. Bigger gear on the way back with a tailwind, if that's the case, easier gear on the way out with the headwind. No matter what the temperature, the weather's doing, you're staying on top of your calories, right? We've had it rain before, we've had it cold. We have athletes forget about their calories because of those conditions and then end up cramping really bad later in the ride or into the run. Make sure you are taking in your calories as you've planned in your race plan. Don't forget your electrolytes, don't forget your carbohydrates because those do come into play no matter what the conditions are doing. So stay on top of them, stay on top of your intervals, and don't space out because the weather is raining or windy or whatever it might be. Stay on top of your nutrition strategy. Make sure you're taking the turns cautiously. There are a couple U-turns on the course. When you're making a U-turn on course, make sure you're not looking at your front wheel. You're looking to where you want to go, right? You're looking over your left shoulder or over your right shoulder, all the way to where your bike is going to end up, not to where you currently are. So that's how a tight U-turn, you look to where you're going, not where you are. So turn your head and look to where you're going in that turn. All right, and enjoy the run. It's fun to race. It's fun to race out there. If there were rain, it's fun to race in the rain. Just stay on top of those nutrition. But I don't think it's supposed to rain at all. But you never know. Sacramento is very iffy at times. All right, here's the bike course. Any questions? Anything anybody wants to go over yet? You got anything? Any questions in the chat there, Jordy? No? Yes? No?
Nothing. Nah, nothing.
All right, bike course is pretty flat. 710 miles over 112. 710 feet of elevation over 112 is damn flat. If you look at the elevation chart on the bottom, it looks like it's undulating, but that's because it's so flat, guys. So it's a very flat course. You're going to be in TT position a lot. That being said, make sure you guys get out of TT position every so often, stand up, stretch your legs, and get other muscle groups involved as you're riding. I'm not saying stand up and do it for minutes at a time, but every so often, remember to stand up, get out of the position, and stretch the legs out. Be safe. There's a lot of first timers doing this race. First timers ride all over the road, right? So use your voice. I'm on my left. I'm on your left. I'm on your left. I'm on your left, right? And don't get frustrated with athletes if they're riding across the entire lane. Just say, hey, on your left, on your left. If you have to slow down for a minute, I'd rather you slow down than crash or cause a crash. So use your voice. Always be aware of your surroundings. Be extremely defensive. And you get aid stations about every 12 miles. The way the aid stations are broken up, you'll see water. The first group of volunteers will have water. The second group will have mortal hydration, which is the electrolyte drink. The third group of volunteers will have food, gels, blocks, pretzels, whatever, bananas. The fourth group of volunteers will have mortal hydration, and the fifth group of volunteers will have water again. So I suggest you take the first water you see, you dump it all over yourself, you get refreshed, you wake yourself up a little bit. Then if you need your electrolytes, you need to refill that arrow bottle in the front. You can take the mortal hydration and do that, and then get any food that you want if you need a gel. But then the last water you can drink that. You can fill up any other reservoirs you need, and you can sip off of that until you need to throw it on the side before you see or by the time you see the trash dump. But use that first water to sip off of, but also dump all over yourself, dump over your head. And you can do that every 12 miles, so it's a nice shock to the system. And if you're worried about cutoff times, don't. Just think about racing your race, staying within your metrics, and good things will happen. Shoot for 70 to 75% effort. They show max effort for pros, 80% coming off the bike leads to the best runs. I'll say for us, probably be around the 70 to 75%. Don't think there's any type of race day magic. Know your number, know your heart rate, know your power, know what you're shooting for throughout the bike. Keep a nice, comfortable cadence. We always recommend 75 to 80. Anything too high is too efficient. Anything too low is too muscular. So about a 75 to 80 cadence throughout. Even paced ride leads to the best runs, right? So we should look at your training peaks afterwards and see a nice flat line, heart rate, power, whatever it may be. That leads to the best runs. If there's a lot of spikes, a lot of peaks and valleys, You're burning matches as you're doing that, and that's going to lead to an iffy run because you're really muscularly depleting your system. Always stay present and focus on the process. One thing we work on those Tuesday, Thursday rides is focusing on how we're moving and the technique. So you find your mind starts wandering, you start thinking about what you're going to eat after the race or what your significant other is doing, right? Your mind is wandering, you're not present. Recognize it and bring it back to technique and focus on the here and now and not what could happen or what's going to happen or what did happen. Short-term memory, your memory of a goldfish, right? You forget about what previously happened, stay here and now, and don't think about what's going to happen. As I said earlier, stay aero as much as possible, stand occasionally. I already talked about the headwind and the tailwind. Break the distance into smaller chunks, right? So you have two loops, one out, one back, and then within each, you have mile markers every 5 miles. So ride 5 miles to 5 miles to 5 miles and then just break it down one out and back at a time. I'm riding out, turn around, I ride back, turn around, I ride out, turn around, I ride back, turn around. Right. So break it into smaller chunks and then really dial into your nutrition timing too. That helps break it down as well. If you know you're going to be having a gel every 15 miles, just know I took a gel at 5 minutes in, 20 minutes in another gel, 35 minutes in another gel. Before you know it, you're 2 hours in because you've just been focusing on your nutrition timing. So just ride feeding to feeding. They have outhouses at aid stations. I suggest you use those if you got to pee. Don't pinch that pee off forever. Just stop, pee quickly, and move on. It's always a lot quicker than you think it is. And as I said earlier, stay on those nutrition intervals as much as possible. If you get off the nutrition interval, get on it when you remember, and then reset the timing from there. And stay on top of your hydration, guys. 1 bottle an hour, anywhere from 24 to 28 ounces of hydration an hour is what you should be shooting for. With that, you can take electrolytes and salt pills, but a bottle an hour is about what everybody should be at on this call. Any questions on the bike? Anybody want to go over everything? Anthony Ross, do you have anything to say about the bike?
Jim, they still have that like bridge like I think it's a right turn. Is that still in the course? Because I did on full gas last year. I
They
remember.
took out that whole loop on the side of the course, so you got a little
Okay.
longer. So I think that they took that out, but that's something to pay attention in the race briefing. But I believe they took it out. If you look at the bike map, you don't have that little square that they had the last couple of years. So
Okay.
Anthony Ross, you got anything? Am I missing anything there?
On the triceps, you have your like the pull-up one. Yeah.
Who's that? Who's talking right now? Is that you, Chris, or is that me? Who is
No,
that?
we're waiting for Anthony Ross to give us some
No, it's
his
okay.
race updates.
Anthony can't unmute,
Yeah.
so that's fine.
Right. You got a stretch on, I think it's like Slough Road. It's I think it's around 3 miles, and that is very rough. You'll see bottles littered all the way through that. So make sure either you've got maybe elastic bands on your rear bottles or maybe on your front bottle. You just want to be mindful of that section because you will see a lot of carnage on that section.
Yep. Okay. Good to know. It's Slough Road. Just be present, guys. Be focused. As your fatigue mounts, your mind starts to wander, right? So let's make sure that you stay present, focused on the process, and make sure you're extremely defensive and aware of all those obstacles throughout the day because they do pop up as stuff falls off bikes. Other people are getting tired. They drop things. Be aware of that stuff too. All right, transition. Like as I said, you get off before that dismount line. You give the volunteer your bike. You run through the red bags. You know where your red bag is because you dropped it off on Saturday. You grab that. You go into the change tent. You take off your bike gear. You put on your run gear. You put your bike gear in that red bag. You drop it where you should be drop it. It's usually right on the outside of the change tent and you go out onto the run course. Now, I heard a podcast when I was looking at Nice a couple weeks ago, and a coach on there, I don't know what his name is, he says, nothing good ever happens on T2 of an Ironman. And this is so true. The longer you sit in T2, the more you think, holy cow, I got to run a marathon right now. This is going to be brutal, right? Get in there, get your stuff on, and get out, right? You can do the thinking, you can get into your running stride as you're going onto the run course. Don't sit there and think about it. Make it hasty. Don't be hasty, but make it snappy. Get the socks on, get the shoes on, get all the rest of your stuff, and you can put that on as you're running. Your race belt, your hat, your sunglasses, anything you're gonna wear on the run. Don't just sit there and put it on. Put on your socks, put on your shoes, grab all the rest of this stuff and get out of that change tent and get onto the run course as quick as you can. The longer you sit there, the more you have to think about 26 miles of running after the swim, after the bike. Nothing good ever happened in T2. That's our mantra for the race. You get out on the run course, it's pretty flat, 410 feet of elevation over 26.2 miles is pretty flat. You have an aid station about every mile. Now, the way the run course is, if the area that goes south, you only do that out and back once, right? And then you come back and that area that veers to the right, veers to the left, you go out, you turn around, you come back, and then you do a U-turn where that green dot is, and you come out on the right side of the river, out back U-turn, and then you do the first part of that I just spoke about again. You don't do that long out and back south, right? You don't do this long out and back south that you come down here. You just do the out and back again of the top part of the course, right? So something to look at. You want to look at the race map yourself, but could be a little confusing. You're not doing 2 loops the entire course. You're just doing 2 loops of the top part of this course, right? So the initial out and back is just the first time, and then you do a loop of the top part of the course there. So go look at the course map. But no matter what, you're going to know where you're going. You're going to break it down 1 mile at a time. You don't take it out of transition and think, holy cow, I'm going to have to do 26.2 miles. You say, I'm going to run the mile 1, then I'm going to run the mile 2, I'm going to run the mile 3, right? Break it down in the smaller segments. Once you get into the loop part of the course, then you can break it down to loop to loop, right? I'm going to run to this turnaround, then I'm going to run to that turnaround, then I'm going to run to this turnaround, then I run to that turnaround, then I run to the finish, right? So break it down, know how you're going to break it down in your mind, because this leads to the best results. We never look at a big picture. We look at it 1 mile at a time, and then within those miles, we break it down smaller based on the course. So think about how you're going to break it down and then stick to it. Once again, you know your nutrition timing, you know your nutrition strategy from what you did in the pre-race plan. Stick to it. Stay on top of your electrolytes. Stay on top of your carbohydrates. A Ferrari don't run on fumes, right? You guys are all Ferraris. We need to stay on top of the fuel so you can have your best day. If your stomach starts to go south, you have too much sugar in there, right? You feel bloated, you feel nauseous, switch to just water for a little bit. Your stomach will come around, but you can't forget about nutrition. You can't say my stomach's bad, I'm just going to not do anything. Move to water for a little bit. Your stomach will flush out. It'll even out the distribution of carbohydrates and hydration. And then you can get back on your calories. But your day isn't over if your stomach starts to go south. Just switch to straight water. Other run notes: focus on finding your rhythm. Focus on your technique. Focus on how you're moving. Run as you've practiced. The effort and legs will come to you a mile, 2 miles in. You might not going to feel great right away out of transition, but just with patience, with perseverance, you will find those run legs, and you'll forget that you even rode once you do. But don't base your 26.2 miles on the first couple miles. Base it on, as your body moves into it, base it on those miles after you warm up. Then you find the stride and you can run a smart race. Run your race, run your execution strategy. No race day magic happens, and you will have that bad wolf speak up saying, you shouldn't be doing this. This is stupid. Why are you out here? Why did you do all this training? Blah, blah, blah. Shut it down. Focus on the process and know that everybody's going through that. Everybody has those negative thoughts. It's athletes who can acknowledge it and bring it back to present, focus on the process, are the ones that have the most successful day. Everybody goes through those dips. Just know that you have the mental tenacity to fight through that bad wolf. We already talked about nutrition. You know your plan. We all go through a nutrition plan. Stick to your plan. You're going to be anywhere from 75 to 120 grams of carbohydrates an hour, most likely. You're going to be anywhere from 750 to 1,500 milligrams of electrolytes. So know what you specifically need on race day, and then we stick to it. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you guys ask wherever you find this video. You can ask it now on Facebook. You guys, my Tower 26 athletes, I want you to unmute and ask it live. If you're on YouTube, leave it in the comments and we will get to it. But I want to bring up, before I bring up anything else, I want to bring up Jordy's race plan and just show you guys how he filled it out. I'm going to stop sharing this here. Do we have any questions, anybody's mind right now that you want to go over? Yeah, anything. Nancy, you good? We're good? No one?
I got some questions for Anthony Ross.
Yes. Chris, co-host Chris, go ahead.
Anthony, you're going to swim this in what, 35 minutes, 32 minutes? You think?
38 last year.
38. So what time do you get to the race site?
Well, Jim and I had a conversation last year, and he told me get to the front.
Get to
So
the
that's
front
what I did. Is I barreled. I was probably the 10th or
on the
15th
first
person in the
bus, right?
water.
Yeah.
The swim is wide open, which is good for people. If you're a first timer, you get nervous swimming in groups. Um, but the thing you have to pay attention is when you merge into the Sacramento River, because that's a faster moving river. So you have to, and there's a buoy that you have to turn around that's going to be more to your right. So you just have to be mindful of that, know that's coming up, and be sure to hit that buoy, push right, hit that buoy, because you know that harder current is going to be pushing you towards the left. So you want to aim right early, hit that buoy, turn, and then you're just going to float really fast all the way down.
Next question. When you get out off that little landing dock, that wetsuit comes down halfway. You're not sprinting to the transition because it's quite a long run.
Well,
You're just
it's
get
a
a
lot
nice,
of
easy
climbing.
jog, right?
It's a lot of
Yeah. So
you get out. There's stairs going up. It's like it's obviously it's wet. It's metal, so it can be slippery. So I didn't try taking anything off until I got up to the top where it's concrete.
okay.
At
Yeah.
that point, then cap
And
and
it's just
goggles off.
an easy jog into the
Yeah.
stadium. Okay. So
Well,
what's
it's not the
highs
stadium. It's
and
just across the street from the stadium.
Yeah.
It's much
Right.
easier.
I don't want
Right.
you guys sprinting that area into the changing tent, right? Take your
Yeah.
time. You can walk
It's just a
briskly,
jog.
but don't burn matches by running up all those
No.
stairs, running up the hill in there. You're just gonna get on your bike and you'll be totally spent those first few miles. Make it snappy. Don't be hasty.
Mhm.
Try and get that heart rate down from the swim. Get in and get out of the change tent, but don't spike the heart rate by sprinting up. Good point there.
And you don't want to,
What's-
you want to be careful. You don't want to fall on that metal right away, right after getting out of the
Yeah.
water. You're disoriented from being in horizontal. Yeah, you just want to be careful
There's
till you
a
get
ton
up
of
to the tent.
volunteers around too. Use the volunteers. They're offering to help you out of the water. Use them. Grab their arm, let them pull you up, and let them stabilize you as you go from that horizontal to vertical position. You might be a little wobbly, so use the volunteers' arms to help you.
Next question, Anthony. On the bike, on your special needs, do you just pack for 56 miles and then 56 miles, or do you put everything on your bike at once? How
No,
do you
just
do
like
it?
Jim said. So I have 3 bottles on the bike. So I have 1 torpedo in the front and then 2 on the back. And I'll go through 2 of those, maybe 2.5. And then special needs for the bike is very easy at this race. It's right outside T1.
Yeah.
So it's right where you
Yeah.
U-turn. And they're all right there. Just like Jim said, they're going to call your number as you're coming down. You do
And then
the
you pick it
U-turn.
up
They're
on the
going to have
opposite
your
side of the
bag
road.
ready for you.
Yeah.
It takes 20 seconds. You're going to stop. You load, you put your new bottles on, take off. They have a bathroom there if you want to stop and you want to use the bathroom. But it's super convenient, super easy.
Don't say, "Oh, I'm not going to stop." Don't say, "I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to waste time." It takes, like Anthony said, it takes 20 seconds, guys. It always takes a lot shorter than you think it does. Take your time to get your stuff on board, because that's going to come into play as you get on that run later in the miles in the run. If you skip it, then you're just screwing yourself later in that run. So get the personal needs stuff, use it, and don't be hasty as you go through there. Take your time to get it all on board, and then get going again.
Anthony, you stop physically, put new bottles on, throw the trash away, and then start all over again, correct?
Yeah. I mean, I straddle the bike. I've actually
Yeah.
gone to the bathroom there too. They'll hold your bike
Yeah.
for you, run to the bathroom. I'll
Got it.
maybe grab something to eat while I'm in the bathroom. But if you
Yeah.
don't need to go, they're going to grab your bag. You just grab your bottles out, put them on the back, and poof, off you go.
Highs and lows on the bike. Where does your mind start to wander? On that second loop?
I like just digging in. I ride the PCH every weekend, and
Yeah.
I just love being down and narrow and just grinding. So it's
Right.
just letting it rip.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, within reason.
A lot of times,
but there will be wind. They'll say there won't be wind. There will be wind. At one point, you'll hit a headwind. At some point, you'll get maybe a couple gusts to the side, because you're in a big stretch of that. You're in open farmland. So, a random breeze comes by, you're going to get affected by it. So you just always want to be ready for that kind of thing.
Another thing to be ready for, like you said, around mile 75, 80, you're beat down a little bit. You might say, man, I could fall asleep right now. Just let me close my eyes while I'm riding for, a couple minutes. I'm so tired. That's low blood sugar. It's something to recognize. Say, hey, I need to get some carbohydrates in the system, right? So if you feel like you're gonna fall asleep on the bike, it's not that you're just tired because you woke up so early. It's because your blood sugar is dropping. You need a little jolt to the system. So recognize that and get on those carbohydrates.
Okay, now talk us through the run, Anthony. I know when you get back into T2 again, you change your shoes, you make it real quick. That first part of the run is pretty easy, pretty flat, but then it goes off and it goes into a kind of a downtown area. And then it gets out into like a big park area, right? And I remember last year it got very dark early. Where does your mind go when you're in that park area, when it's dark and you can't see anybody and nobody's around? What do you do?
That well, they limited that park area,
Right.
so that's out of there for this year. I think the thing that we all got to watch out for is you get off the bike and you start running, and you're going to be doing a minute faster than what you should be running.
Yeah.
You look at everybody's run splits in an Ironman; they're always running fast right off the bike, and I always have to try to rein myself in because you're going to hit a wall then way too early. So just get off, get their legs moving. The great thing about this is it is flat, so you don't have to worry about contending with a hill right away or a big descent. So it's just get the legs moving, get the body situated, get your sunglasses and visor kind of fitted on. Have your if you're carrying any kind of nutrition or liquids, get some liquids going, and just start moving.
But there's no race day magic, right? So if you notice you're running a minute faster than you should be running, rein it in, guys. You're not gonna
Yeah.
just hold it, be like, oh my God, I'm gonna run a 2:35. This is gonna be amazing. I'm at the best run of my life, right? It ain't gonna happen, right? Sure, the first mile you're gonna feel good, but how are you gonna feel mile 18, mile 19, mile 20? So stick to your plan, be dialed into your metrics, and know, hey, no race day magic. I know what I'm capable of. I know I gotta back it down, dial into my zone, and then move forward from there. Very good. Chris,
Um,
I'm gonna show.
I think leading up to this race, it really starts tonight. You really want to start going to bed early, looking at your nutrition. You really want to eat healthy, clean burning fuel for the next couple of days. But I think sleep is really important from here on out until Saturday night, because you're not going to sleep on Saturday night. Well,
Yes.
it's going to be
Shut it down
it's going to be
early.
rough. So
Don't be super dad this week. Shut it down
yeah,
early. Ignore your kids. I'll give you permission. Ignore your kids out. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I just got a
Your
text
wife or
from
husbands are gonna rip into me on that one. All
I
right.
just
So
got a text from someone. No, nothing new on race day. If you haven't been practicing with salt tabs, don't even touch them. Don't even bother about it.
so here's the race plan that Georgia just sent me. Chunster sent me one yesterday, but everything's accounted for, right? How they're going to execute their nutrition, right? Swim, bike, run, pre-race, things to look out for on the course, what the course looks like, the course detail, and they fill this out, right? It's not a coach filling this out because I filled it out for athletes for a while, but that was like a teacher taking a test for the student, right? They weren't absorbing it. So you guys fill it out and then go over with your coach, make sure everything's accounted for and the zones are correct. But I think if you guys fill it out, it just helps everything absorb what you've been doing month over month over month. Then you have the race strategy, things to look out for in the race, the zones you're going to dial into, where your mind is going to be throughout each discipline, how you're going to execute the transitions. So very detailed. It's the foundation. Things are going to go awry from here, and you're going to have to think on your feet. But at least you have the foundation in place: nutrition, execution, things to look out for on the race. If you want this race plan, you don't have it yet, email me, jim@tower26.com. I'll send it to you guys. But thanks for sending that to
I
me,
also have a copy if
guys.
anybody needs it.
Sent. Oliver asked if you should bring a hydration bottle on the run or cut the weight. If there's something that you need specifically that isn't on course, or if you're just more comfortable sipping on a hydration bottle and not getting something every mile, yeah, bring it with you guys. It's a long day out there. You got to do what's going to make you happiest on race day. It's going to lead to the success for you, right? So just because everybody else isn't carrying a hydration bottle with them doesn't mean you don't carry one. So if that's what you're used to, that's what you're comfortable with, do it, right? And like Chris said, nothing new on race day. If you're not used to taking salt tabs, start taking a couple salt tabs right now because you're going to need those come race day. So get on the salt, get on the salt tabs. And if you're used to doing something, if you train with socks on, race with socks on. If you train with whatever the hell you train with, do it on race day, right? Don't be hasty. Don't think it's going to save me a half a second here, half a second there. You don't put socks on because it's going to save you a half a second in transition. It could be hours added to your time because of a blister, right? So do exactly what you do in training. Do what you account for on your race plan. Don't skip over it because you're getting hasty, right? And you're not mindful come race day. What else we got? Any other questions? Anything anybody wants to go over? A lot of good stuff there. Jordy, what I miss? Come on. Hoorah!
I think you got it all. I was just thinking back to last year. You know, the point about not changing things on race day. My first race, my first Ironman, I changed like literally everything the night before. And I just, muscled it through. But I think that's the best. That's the best note.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're here for you guys. Just reach out if things not on your mind. We want nothing but success. But Ironman racing's a grind. You guys got to know that there's going to be peaks, there's going to be valleys, there's going to be good times, there's going to be crappy times. Persevere through all of it. Think through the situation. You guys are fit. #AF. Go out there and show what you can do. Right? It's going to test you mentally. It's going to test you physically. It's going to get tough, but we persevere through those obstacles. We think around those obstacles, and we cross the finish line successfully. I saw Coach Eli is here. Eli, are you there to able to speak up, or what are you doing? You grinding away 40/20s right now, or what? Eli, there you are. Eli, what did I miss? You've been listening to this whole thing. You're muted right now. Eli is a seasoned veteran of the sport. He's absorbing everything. What did I miss, buddy?
Well, you got it all. I mean, like you said, no race day magic. Everybody's got their plan. They know what they need to do. I got nothing to add, really. This is such a good briefing here. You guys should be ready to go, ready to take on that course. I'm jealous. I'd like to do that swim there.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful swim.
Francisco's worried about cold water. Francisco, you got nothing to worry about, man. He's coming from a hot climate into cold, so he's worried about. He's only been swimming in hot water, so you'll be fine. You're a tough guy.
Yeah, the thing is that I haven't swum in cold water since July. The coldest I have swum in the last 2 weeks is 72 Fahrenheit. So yeah,
You'll be fine.
You'll adjust. Just take some deep breaths. Start easy, like Coach Jim said. Don't go out too fast. Just get in the water. Start really slow. If you get you start hyperventilating because you're cold, just calm down. Take some deep breaths and just get going again. You'll be fine.
You'll be great.
How
Everyone
long?
talks about the cold, and then after the race, no one mentions anything about the cold. So
And how long is the distance before you get from one river to another?
Anthony,
It's
A mile?
about halfway. I could pull it up on my Strava and tell you exactly, but
yeah, it's about halfway.
you'll go under one bridge and you'll see it. And there is somebody pointed this out on Facebook years ago. There's a large stump. There's a kind of a point on the right-hand side, that right where the rivers merge, and there's a large stump. And that you see that stump, you got to start swimming to the right.
Yep. Okay. Well, there you go. Look for the stump. All right, guys. Always good stuff. You know where we're at. We got myself, Coach Chris, Coach Eli. We can help you through any situation, any of your Tower 26 coaches, but we're excited for you. Just know, mentally prepare for the stress that you're going to encounter on race day. You will encounter the stress. Persevere through it and have some fun out there. We know when you cross the finish line, it's going to be a little bit of time before you finish another one, unless you're Chunster who's going to Arizona also. But he said, no, but enjoy it. Enjoy that finish line.
Yeah,
And
enjoy it, guys.
look forward to seeing all
Enjoy
you guys.
the day.
So have some fun and let's do some big things. Love you guys. We will see you on the next one. And October 19th, do it for the big daddy over here. Big birthday. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.